And welcome back to Eyewitness News at 6 on this Thursday evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking mainly dry but mostly cloudy skies as we go through the overnight hours. It'll be on the milder side too. Temperatures rather seasonable, and that trend will continue through the day tomorrow as well. But if you take a look behind me, you'll notice that we have some puddles that are drying up. Not so much the case in downtown Utica, where it's currently 66 degrees, and we have mainly dry roads down there. That's because the showers have come to an end, and it's a lot brighter than it has been out there today, which is some good news. So again, 66 as of 6:07, so a little bit below average for where we should be at this time of year. And temperatures up toward the north are in the middle and upper 50s right now, and down toward the southwest, Syracuse and Varick are at 70, so those are the warm spots right now. Obviously, most of us experiencing some of that rain-cooled air today. For most of the Mohawk Valley, it is dry, but once you get into Herkimer, Hamilton County, even into portions of Otsego, we're still seeing a little bit of some light rain and a little bit of drizzle at this time. There's a couple of reasons for that. One of them is this surface trough stretching from central New York down through the middle of Pennsylvania, and the other one is this area of low pressure, which is located off the coast of the Cape Cod and the islands, and that's going to continue to move up toward the north and east. And as it does so, it'll take the clouds and the shower chances with it, but those will still be with us during the overnight hours thanks to that trough and that low combined. So during the overnight hours, we'll have mainly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 50s, and that's where they'll start the day tomorrow. And tomorrow will be another milder day with temperatures into the low 70s, right where we should be for this time of year. And then mainly dry up until the afternoon and evening when our next storm system heads our way. And this one looks to track up into Connecticut and eventually into New Hampshire before turning up into the Canadian Maritimes both Saturday and Sunday. Although Saturday, as you'll see here in just a second, definitely looking like the wetter of the 2 weekend days and the coolest of the next 7 as well, thanks to that rare May nor'easter. The second one in a row. Last one was on Memorial Day weekend. And obviously for tomorrow will be rather dry. There could be some spotty showers out there, but some afternoon sun. But that changes as we go through tomorrow night and especially through the day on Saturday. Rain is looking pretty likely, if not widespread, as we go through the day on Saturday. But it drops off as we head through Saturday afternoon and evening before completely ending as we go through Sunday. So from the Utica area off toward the west, maybe as much as half an inch of rain is expected. This is through Saturday night, and then off toward the east down closer to the capital region. You may find a couple of areas that do get more than, let's say, an inch of rain during the day on Saturday. And then this is a sneak preview of what to expect next week. Not only will we be experiencing summer-like heat, but we will see some humidity on top of it. The dew point's getting up into the moderate category, up into the 60s, so feeling a little bit sticky, a little bit sweaty, especially when we go through Wednesday when we'll have temperatures in the 80s. Tomorrow between 70 and 75 with that spotty shower, some milder air, maybe a few peaks of sunshine during the afternoon. Not so much the case on Saturday, 55 to 60. Sunday definitely looking like the brighter and warmer of the 2 weekend days. And then as we go through Monday, we'll see some sun and warmer conditions too. The average high around 73, obviously nowhere near that either weekend day. But then take a look Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Temperatures right around 80, give or take, all 3 days, and mainly dry, with the exception of Thursday afternoon when there could be a few showers.
Do you think we're going to get close to 90 anytime soon?
I don't think we'll get close to 90 next week, at least the way it's looking right now. However, if you take the dew points that I just showed you and combine them with the high temperatures around 80, it'll feel about 2 or 3 degrees warmer than that. So you'll definitely want to stay hydrated and apply that sunscreen as well. We haven't said that a lot recently because of all the rain.
I know, all the rain, all the clouds. Sunscreen hasn't been really that important, but of course with these increased temperatures and increased humidity, dehydration is a real concern, especially if you decide to go hiking or checking anything out, getting out of your house over the next week. Now, another thing I want to ask you, Jordan, is where are we at in terms of our records for years past compared to now?
In terms of rainfall or in terms of temperature, or just both?
Both at this point.
I'm not exactly sure because I don't have the exact stats off of my head, but as you've been looking at the almanac, most of the temperature records are up in the 90s for highs and then 30s for lows, but I don't think we'll be near that next week, unfortunately.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Coming up next on Eyewitness News.
Now, your Eyewitness Weather forecast.
And a very good Thursday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a lot of clouds as we go through the overnight hours. However, it is going to be mainly dry, and that's going to be the case once again during the day tomorrow, other than a spotty shower or two. And as far as today's almanac is concerned, we only got up to 67 degrees, which is a lot cooler than it was over the last couple of days when we had 76 both yesterday and on Tuesday, and that was obviously short of the normal of 73 for today. What we were closer, actually above average, is in the low temperature department. We had a low of 55 this morning. We also had 0.2 of an inch of rain, and our record high today was 93 degrees, set back in 2012, 13 years ago. Right now, it's still fairly mild, 57 degrees, with just a few clouds out there in downtown Utica, so fairly mild, seasonable night. And that's the case over most of our area right now. The only area that's in the 60s right now, still at Camden, right at 60 degrees. Same thing at Saratoga Springs in Albany behind me, and then it's also a little bit warmer as you head off toward the west. But the precipitation is not falling right now. That was obviously not the case this morning, thanks to an area of low pressure that continues to spin offshore right now and weaken as it heads up toward the north and east. And then we also have a trough back toward central Pennsylvania that was also aiding in the precipitation development today. We'll have a lot of clouds tonight, especially to the north of the thruway, so mainly cloudy skies and temperatures in the 50s, right where we should be for this time of year. Tomorrow we will be mild again, temperatures into the lower and middle 70s, right where we should be for this time of year once again, and then spotty rain becomes likely toward and after midnight. There could even be a shower at any point during the day tomorrow, but I wouldn't, that's the exception and not the rule. Again, temperatures upper 60s north and east, lower 70s down toward the southwest, so within a couple of degrees of average. And they'll be watching a storm coming up from the Jersey Shore into Connecticut and through New Hampshire, making that right turn into the Canadian Maritimes. Another nor'easter. They're fairly rare for the month of May, and we've had two of them. One of them, or we will have had two of them. One of them was back last weekend, of course, for Memorial Day. But as we head into the start of June, especially Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week, not only will we be dealing with temperatures right around 80 degrees, but those dew points, which are a measure of how much moisture is in the air, getting into the moderate category is indicated by the yellow and orange colors. So getting up into the 60s, feeling a little bit sticky, a little bit sweaty as we head into next week. Not the case tonight, though. 55 with cloudy, if not mostly cloudy skies, a south-southeasterly breeze at 4 miles an hour. And as we head through the day tomorrow, the winds will become west-northwesterly, a little bit breezier. At around 10 to 15, we'll have that spotty shower, mild air, and sun more likely in the afternoon when we will have a temperature of 72 degrees. Obviously a lot cooler as we head through Saturday, only between 55 and 60. That's about 20 degrees below average for this time of year. And then we'll be dealing with temperatures creeping their way up into the 60s as we go through Sunday. But so still cooler than average, but it's definitely looking like the better of the 2 weekend days. And then temperatures go up and away as we start the month of June. And so does the humidity too.
And I know the folks at home can't really tell, but we're getting a bit of a taste of that heat right now here in the studio.
It is a little bit warm, and I'm afraid that's going to be the case next week too for those of you that don't have your AC set up yet.
I'll definitely turn it on pretty soon. Well, anyways, we're keeping up with
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And a very good Thursday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a cloudy but mainly quiet night as we go through the overnight hours, and that'll be the case for most of the day tomorrow. But as far as today was concerned, a little bit different than the last couple of days. Today's high 67, both yesterday and on Tuesday we were 76, so today we were below average. The last 2 days we were above it, but we were actually this low of 54. That's occurring right now. The temperature continues to drop, but nonetheless still above average for the low by about 3 degrees, and that's something different than the last couple of days as well. The last couple of days we were down into the 40s for the lows. And as far as our precipitation is concerned, since midnight we've had about 0.2 of an inch of rain, and I expect about the same as we head through tomorrow. So again, temperatures continuing to drop. We came back up a little bit. Now we're at 55 here in downtown Utica under mainly clear skies. As I mentioned, a pretty quiet night there. And as far as temperatures go across other parts of our region, we have fairly same, middle and upper 50s, maybe a couple of lower 50s, and even a 60 out there in Camden right now. Syracuse is at 57 at this moment, Watertown 59. And in all those areas that I just mentioned, our entire viewing area, it is quiet on the radar right now, and it's going to remain that way through most of the day tomorrow, other than the spotty shower that there could be out there. Part of that is because of an area of low pressure that's continuing to weaken and move up toward the north and east. And we also have a trough located over central New York and the middle of Pennsylvania that was was aiding in the precipitation development today. But right now we're just seeing a lot of clouds, and that's going to be the case throughout the overnight hours. Cloudy, if not mostly cloudy, with temperatures fairly seasonable, and we'll see fairly seasonable and mild temperatures during the day tomorrow. And then there could be some afternoon sun, but because of the instability, there could be an isolated or scattered shower that bubbles up. But most of the rain holds off until after midnight as we see the rain work in from southwest to northeast, and then Saturday it looks like a pretty wet day. Temperatures tomorrow up toward the north and east, you could be into the middle and upper 60s, but for areas down to the southwest, more like the lower and middle 70s. That's right where we should be for this time of year, within a degree or two. And they'll be watching that storm system making its way from the New Jersey coast up into Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire before it finally exits the coast of Maine and heads up into Atlantic Canada by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And there could be some coastal flooding along the New England coast as well. In its wake, though, we will be left with some summer-like temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And although it looks dry at the moment, we could see some humidity, with the dew point levels creeping their way up into the middle, if not the upper 60s. So it'll feel a little bit sticky, a little bit sweaty, especially Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Temperatures right around 55 overnight tonight, give or take a degree or two, with cloudy, if not mostly cloudy skies. That wind out of the south-southwest at 4 miles an hour, and mainly dry. That continues during the day tomorrow, other than the spotty shower. It'll still be mild with some afternoon sun. Temperatures generally between 70 and 75 degrees, and you'll notice that shower chance is fairly low, right around 20%, and then we'll be dealing with a west-northwesterly breeze at around 15 miles an hour, and that wind will continue into the weekend. It'll weaken some, but it'll still be breezy for both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday obviously looking like the wetter of the 2 weekend days. Sunday looking a little bit better, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will start the month of June, and the temperatures go up, and so will the humidity.
Temperatures up and the return of sunshine. Again, a little bit of stretch here, Jordan.
Absolutely. I think it'll brighten everyone's spirits. Even though we will have some humidity on top of it, the sun will definitely help things out.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. Coming up next on Eyewitness.